Miss Le'Veon, so I might bail out at the stop sign. Police get behind me like a deadbeat pops, it ain't mine. And I'm just trying to get high, just like the BG staying alive, my nigga. I'm just trying to get high.
Rello's Mellow Garden, and welcome to the start of another week, another video we got here. Today we're starting down here in the little lab area because we are going to go ahead and start prepping things up to transplant the plants, because you know we had the one that started to show the male little pollen sacs, so we're going to get rid of that one. So that'll leave us with more space, so we might as well throw them in slightly bigger pots here. Got some 5 gallons. We'll upgrade the remaining 3 from their 3-gallon pots to these 5-gallon pots. Right now I'm getting some soil prepped, making sure that, or getting an idea of how much I'll have. I don't know, I don't think I'll have enough, but we plan on going out to the store to get some things anyway, so we'll pick up some more dirt. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. What are we at? Week 7 here. Coming on to around the tail end of where we want to end our veg and transition to flower. But we've got about 3 5-gallon pots, so we're going to need around 15 gallons worth of soil in here. Since they are coming from 3-gallon pots, that's probably going to take up a fair amount of volume inside of these. So we probably won't need as much soil, but getting an idea of how much we're going to need. And these are about 12 inches across, so we're going to have to go out and get some slightly bigger trays. The ones we got right now are like 10.5. That we have in the little tent right here. Might as well go ahead and crack her open. You can see the girls are looking pretty good in there. Alright, look at that. Everything is looking great in here. I'm just hoping they don't show us nothing crazy like those pollen sacs. I think right now is also a good time to examine something. If y'all remember at the start of this grow, everything was kind of growing out equally, bushing out, vigorous, all that, looking nice. And now you can see this one, since it developed the pollen sacs, we've kind of been neglecting it. We were calling it, what, the NF sheesh bag seed number 1. I've just kind of been letting it sit here mainly to sort of help keep the humidity within this range. 68 might be a little high, but 55 to 65-ish, pretty good. Temps have been in a good stable area. Back on track. This one, since it had the male parts, since we're gonna get rid of it, I haven't been watering it. Sort of just leave it in here, 1, to help with the humidity in here, and 2, because it'll help this soil dry out some. But it was growing just as rapid and keeping up with everything else. And y'all can see, just there's been a few days of poor watering on it, practically no watering. But the difference that makes. So kind of just a note of making sure that you stay on top of properly watering the plants and all that. You can just see the difference that it makes. See how nice and big this growing got. She was so small. This was our stunted one. And how she don't look too much different. Other than that, we are taking her out today. I'm about to repurpose that dirt. But we come over here to the NF sheesh bag seed number 2. She's so far so good. I'm thinking, since I don't see any definite signs that it's a male plant, that it's probably good, along with the ice cold bag seed number 1 over here. Because generally I believe the males do kind of mature quicker than the female plants, which is why I'm guessing we've already seen it on this one over here. Plus I had another one that we were going to take outside that I seen was a male plant. That all developed quicker. This is the only one one again that's showing the female parts for sure, but these might just be a little slow. That's what I'm hoping. There is still a chance that they're gonna start showing off pollen sacs, but for now we are going to continue to hold out hope that they're just slow to pop pistils and not slow to pop pollen sacs, because again, the males generally do develop quicker. Anyways, other than that, since we're still going under the assumption that these are all going to produce buds, we've been coming in, and what I'm doing with this grow is sort of consistent light defoliation. Then we got this big wide body over here. We've pretty much got the same thing going on over here. Pinch off leaves where we see fit to help lower growth come up, but I think this one is still looking fairly good from the work I did earlier. Maybe back here there's an argument to come in and remove a couple leaves, and helps get these some more light. Go ahead and do a decent amount of leaf stripping over here actually, because I do want these leaves back here to sprout up. Hopefully that helped there. That leaf I'm gonna tuck down. And this one really, right here, really ready for the trellis net. Or if I had some bud clips, it would be good for this plant as well. But yeah, I'm thinking since we're gonna throw these 3 in the 5 gallons, not too long after we do that, we're gonna go ahead and throw the trellis up so we can continue really getting some good LST in and help some of these lowers come up, some of more auxiliaries branch out, and they'll have a little more space. This one actually is growing pretty wide. It's already coming over here, interacting here. So, not the worst outcome, as long as these 2 over here don't pop any pollen sacs. But we're going to go ahead and proceed. That's all we've been doing. Not too much training right now, sort of just letting everything come up. Again, I might come in and do a little bit of manual pushing down, especially on this one. But other than that, I'm removing a few leaves and keep letting them grow out. But we're gonna go ahead and grab her tank keeper. She showed those pollen sacs, so we'll definitely want to get rid of her. I'm gonna go ahead and chuck her out of this soil, or chuck her out the pot, break the soil up into there, and we're gonna continue working this. I will show y'all this part of the process just to show y'all sort of how the roots were looking. And I imagine the ones that are still in the pots that we've still been consistently watering might look even slightly better than this. But this shows us that a good sign that our plants are doing pretty good. The roots are pretty nice, but these ones are about to get repurposed. They're going to get broken up right with this in the soil. And they will break down in the soil and provide what little bit of nutrients they're holding on to. But again, most of the nutrients that's pre-mixed in here that we did with all that over there has not broke down yet, so it's just going to be pretty much just the same stuff we did before added in. And since there's a decent amount of nutrients that's going to already be coming from these 3-gallon pots, plus what we just recycled from this one, the other ones are still going to have a decent amount within the little root zone when we do transplant them as well. I think I'm just gonna add maybe a little bit of these to each, maybe just a couple tablespoons, or a couple tablespoons each of these to our mix here. And this will be sitting ready for us on Monday. But I don't even think I said it, but today is Saturday, day 44 of veg. So we'll be transplanting these again, day 46. And just in case this is like the first video of this series you've seen, our original goal was to keep these in these 3-gallon pots and have 4 of them flower out in the 2x4. But again, that one had pollen sacs, so remaining 3 will do 5 gallons. And top of the morning. We are back here Sunday, day 45 of veg now. Think this is about as long as we went. Our last run around just did 45 days. But anyways, hopping right into what we got going on today. We've sourced some new stuff. We've got this Espoma liquid organic tomato fertilizer. We come and look at the NPK ratio on it. We got a 1-3-1, heavy in phosphorus, fairly light in both nitrogen and potassium. But I'm thinking this in combination with our bone meal, which we already had. It's pretty high on the nitrogen. I wish it was a little lower. But this tomato tone dry little nutrient regimen we got here as well. You can see 3, 4, 6, fairly lower on the nitrogen. So I think we're gonna go ahead and mix some of this into the soil we got prepped. Alrighty, we got ahead and mixed that stuff in there. I did add a couple more tablespoons of bone meal and our biotone, just for, I don't know, peace of mind's sake. Hoping we got enough stuff in there to break down, but I think we probably do, probably more than enough. So, our next step, got these ready and waiting. I think it's about time for us to whip up another compost tea. So, we'll get that process started. I was actually just out and still forgot to think about getting some cheesecloth or something to hold all these ingredients in. So I am again just going to go straight into the bucket with them. If you do have something like a cheesecloth that would hold the ingredients, but it'll still allow the microbes and stuff to leach out into the water, then you can put all your ingredients in the cheesecloth, sort of tie it. I usually use one of these, tie it around it, and then just use the rest of it to hang, and you'll have it, the cheesecloth sort of hanging in there. But I again don't have any. So I think with this compost tea, as far as what I'm gonna use, that's our dry ingredients, source of microbial life. I'm gonna use this Espoma biotone, which comes with some mycorrhizae as well. I'll use these worm castings, and I'm gonna use some alfalfa meal. Alrighty, now that is mixed up, we'll be moving on to the next part. Again, if I had cheesecloth, these ingredients would be getting dumped into that, and I'd wrap it up how I showed y'all, but I ain't got it, so this works just the same. I'm gonna grab pretty much, I think I'm gonna do a tablespoon of each thing. So here's the worm castings, just letting it drop right in there. And here we go, the biotone by Espoma. And you can see kind of how these dry organic nutrients are, kind of rocky and grainy and stuff. So when this goes into your soil, all this type of stuff has to break down in there for the nutrients to really become available to the plant. So when we whip up something like a compost tea, that provides ample amounts of new microbial life to be entered into the soil. It helps feed whatever's already in the soil so they can reproduce and start eating and breaking stuff down. It's going to make these nutrients readily available for the plants and just helps them overall love life. Plus, like I said, this one Has with this biotone's got mycorrhizae in it. So not only are we getting the microbial world, but we're getting some fungal life as well. Fungus. And now you can see I'm just giving this a little stir, since I am not using a cheesecloth or anything. Alright, now on day 45, we're not doing much with the plants. So I know that's bubbling over there now. We've got stuff ready, set up for transplant. So we're just gonna come in here and do a quick little look. Only thing that we really got going is maybe a little bit of massaging down branches to do a little bit of LST. If I noticed anything that looked like it should get defoliated, I would pull it off of here. However, one thing, I think we might be down to 2 plants, honestly. I think in this middle one right here might be a male plant. It just looks sort of male-like in here. Some of that is new growth, but like some of it kind of just looks like early development of pollen sacs as well. I don't see no pistils down in there. So I'm really starting to think that this one is probably a male plant. That is our ice cold bag seed number 1. So I'm thinking, yeah, we're probably only gonna have 2 plants in here for real. All right, we're switching our view over here to our NF Sheesh bag seed number 2. And you can kind of see in there, sort of at the tip of my finger, there's like a little ball, but it has a little hair coming out of it. So it looks like this one will be a good female as well. Looks like it's got some pistils starting to show. And now that we have 2 plants that are showing pistils, we had one that showed definite male signs. I'm starting to think that since this one ain't showing no pistils, and again, it kind of looks like it's got a possible early pollen sacs on it next to the new growth. I'm really thinking this one is a male. Alrighty, here the girls are. I'll just start pulling them out of here. Unfortunately, I still can't call it yet whether this one here in the middle is a male or female. I'm still coming in looking at the nodes, but it's really hard for me to say. I'm really thinking that it's male. It ain't popped no pistils yet. Everything else in here has popped pistils, and they're showing clear signs of female. But since I can't call it yet on this one either way, we're still going to transplant it and let it keep going. I really want to get a trellis neck going in here, but again, would rather know whether we're keeping this one or not before I get the trellis set up. Yo, yo, yo. We are back in here now, Monday, day 46, transplant day. Was not initially expecting to transplant these again, but we got one more to throw them in a final home. So I can see we got this little bit of dirt we had sitting over here ready to go. I've come in and kind of mixed it around and watered it a little bit, pre-moistened it to get it a little more moist. It's better to have it a little more moist, pre-moistened for the transplant. That way it's not hydrophobic or anything when we water it in. But we're about to grab the plants and start filling in these pots just like this. Alright, so we'll grab the plant, and what you want to do is come in at it at the base. You can see how I got my 2 fingers right here around the base of the plant. Then you'll come at it from the bottom, and you simply give it a nice flip upside down. With these plastic pots to it, just be able to shake it right on out of there. And you can see ours there. That is our root zone. Looks pretty good. All right, and we come in here. Y'all can see I literally just set that root ball down in there. Now we're gonna come in and fill in around this. And it'll be a successful transplant for us. Root ball is looking pretty good. She's looking pretty good. Alrighty, there she is. After about 24 hours brewing. Got my 16-ounce cup there. That's probably gonna get used 2 or 3 times on each plant here. So I'm gonna just go in and hit them each. Help recharge this soil and get the nutrients breaking down, ease the plants on into it. Day 46, I believe, here on Tuesday. Or is today Wednesday? I guess we'll see in time. Come on and crack the tin open immediately here. We don't got too much to go over today. All right, as we come in here to our 2x4, you can see all the girls are looking good for just 1.5 months worth of time growing out now. Of course, we transplanted just yesterday, and I think we've got some updates for what's going on in here. We'll come look at our NF sheesh number 2. We got rid of number 1 because it had male identifiers. As we come look here at number 2, other than getting rid of that plant, the next thing I want to do is throw a trellis net up in here. I want to start, especially with this girl right here. She's growing out amazing. This is a pretty good plant, nice and bushed out. I want to get her started a little Scrog, screen of green. She still needs to recover from topping over here, but once she gets to that point, it'll be well and ready for trellis as well. Alrighty, and this is what we got going. Now that we have removed most likely male plant right there, we've got these 2 of the original 4 left. I wish this one right here, this NF sheesh bag seed, was a little more like this ice cold bag seed. You can see how much she has already spread throughout this trellis. So our goal now with her is to continue with these dominant branches, to continue to bend them down, spread them throughout this trellis, and get these smaller ones to come up here through the center so that we can hopefully have a bud site going through every little square here on the net. At least on this half of the tent. This one, she's still below the trellis. Hopefully, once she starts recovering more from the topping we gave her, she'll start coming on up through the net, and we can hopefully do the same thing. Yo, here we are, end of the week, day 49 of our veg here. 7 weeks worth. We'll go ahead and crack open the tip. And there they are. Alrighty, looking on in the tent. Just a brief little update of what we got going on in here. We come into our NF sheesh bag seed. She's sort of breaching the trellis net at some parts, but not really. She's got still recovering from these toppings that we gave her. I want to say, I don't really know how long ago at this point actually, but there she is. It's maybe been 2 weeks now since she got topped. Honestly, she could probably be recovering a little quicker and better from the topping. Not sure what's up there, but there she is, sort of waiting on her. Because over here, ice cold bag seed, she's pretty much ready for flower. You can see how much we are spreading her out through and tucking her through the trellis net. Getting her on through there. It's pretty self-explanatory. You literally just come bend this down, stick it through a square, bend down, stick it through a square. And her lower branches, I feel like the lowers on her are catching up a little better if we come down and look at the ones in the center there. So that's nice to see. She's pretty much again ready to go. We just need her to recover a little more from that topping, get a little bit spread throughout the net at least, and then we'll call them good for flower. So they probably got 1 more week, 8 weeks of edge. But other than that, not really much going on in here for today. Day 49. I think we're gonna leave them like this for now. And you know the deal. If you enjoyed our little video here, do leave us a like. If you haven't yet, do subscribe. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about these, the way they looking for the age. Other than that, shout out to everyone that's been rocking with me. Pretty cool to have like 180 something subscribers now. So shout out to y'all, and Rello's Mellow Garden, we out.